Hello guys, welcome to my channel again. In this video we're going to sketch a few exponential graphs, and here's the first one. Before I jump into these problems, something that I will tell you is that if you have not watched the video Understanding Reflection in Exponential Functions, please stop this video right now and go and watch that one in order for you to understand this one. Okay, let's dive in to these problems. So what we have to do is right here. It says sketch the following graphs. That means that they don't have to be perfect. They just have to reflect this exponential function here. And then it says describe the behavior. Is the graph increasing from left to right? Is the graph decreasing from left to right? That's pretty much all that we want to know. So here's the first example. I know that the value of my a is negative. The value of a is negative. So if I was to sketch this graph, my equation, I'm sorry, not my equation, my y-intercept will be at 0, -4. So it will be down here. Now I'm going to do this with as a dash line. Remember that in the previous video I told you that if you don't know how to graph this, if you're not sure about it, just graph the first one, right? Graph this equation without that negative. So think about this equation without a negative. So you will graph it like this. We know that this graph will be decreasing from left to right. It will be decreasing from left to right because b is less than 1 but greater than 0. So my graph will look something like this. Again, this is if I forget about the negative. But that is not what we're trying to graph. We're actually trying to graph -4 times 0.5 to the power of x. So that will be a reflection. The graph flips. So my graph will look something like this. My final answer will look something like this. Now to describe the behavior, this is pretty easy. My graph is just increasing from left to right. So as the values of x are getting bigger, the values of y are also getting bigger. Just by a little bit, because remember we have an asymptote. That asymptote here. So the behavior will be the graph increases left to right. I'm going to do this next one. Y equals -6 to the power of x. A way that you can rewrite this is as y is equal to -1. Let me move this a little bit. -1 times 6 to the power of x. I'm used to writing to the power of t. This should be an x. So again, I can sketch the one without a negative. This will be a graph that is increasing. And it will go something like this. But because it's a reflection, then I need to flip it. So when I flip my graph, it will look something like this. So the behavior changes. The behavior is changing. Let me write down that this is y is equal to -1 times 6 to the power of x. So the behavior of my graph, this is a graph that I'm talking about, will be the graph is decreasing from left to right. Okay, what I want you to do is to stop the video right now, pause it, and see if you can do this too on the bottom. See if you can get the sketch correct. Well, hopefully you pause the video, and I'm going to make this short. These are very easy to graph because the value of a is positive. So on the first one, my graph is increasing, so it will look something like this. So increases from left to right, and then on this one, this last equation, my graph will be decreasing because b is less than 1. So it will look something like this, and I don't have to do the reflection, so I will say decreases from left to right. That's it. If you like the videos and you're learning from them, please subscribe to the channel. It doesn't hurt you and it definitely does not hurt me.